per month. This is, it's never happened before. And look, history's been made here, but it comes alongside the largest drop in unemployment rate in a single year on record.
The Senate in history of the United States has been amazingly and extraordinarily productive. 20 months into the Democratic majority, I just want to take a moment to highlight the many, many accomplishments we have secured in this chamber under Democratic leadership. It's the most in recent memory. The American Rescue Plan, the Bipartisan Infrastructure Bill, the CHIPS and Science Act, the Gun Safety Bill, the Inflation Reduction Act, an omnibus package, and many other bills in between. Senate Democrats have worked hard every step of the way to improve the lives of American people, to help those in the middle class stay there, to help those struggling to get into the middle class a little easier to get there. And we will continue to do our work for the American people this week by passing a CR to keep the government open.
Benefits have lost around 40% of their buying power. One of the biggest proposals in the works is an increase in benefits for people who are ages 80 and older. Not only will this help older adults maintain buying power, but it will also provide a boost for retirees who are running low on savings. And while nothing is set in stone, this plan does propose increasing benefits by around 5%. And it's one of Washington's most divisive proposals, as only 53% of Americans, 53% of Republicans are in favor of voting for it. So if the Republicans decide to block this stimulus check, that means we won't be getting any stimulus payment if President Biden can't get this past the Republicans. But hopefully everybody he can, because President Biden can definitely send out stimulus checks if he's done it before. Now, the nearly 1.9 million borrowers who paid off their loans during the pause and those who refinanced their student loans during the pause into private loans do not qualify for the automatic stimulus check. Yes, people are getting automatic stimulus checks because in August, Biden extended the pause on repayment, interest, and collections, which began back in March 2020. And according to the Office of Federal Student Aid, about 9 million federal student loan borrowers have made at least one check and one payment to April 20 to March 2022 of this year. So the application for loan forgiveness will become available in October, next month. Borrowers are expected to advise and apply before November 15th in order to receive a check before the end of the year. And we all know how important it is for people to receive the stimulus check, so hopefully President Biden can do something about this and help out the American people. Guys, it is here. President Biden can finally do something for the American people that's valuable, and that's sending out stimulus checks before the end of the year. A stimulus check of $2,000 or even $1,400 has to be approved by December of 2022 if President Biden has any hope of making the American people happy. Now everybody, the whole goal of this channel is to provide you with the most up-to-date, reliable stimulus check information from anything on stimulus aid, relief assistance, low-income benefits, Social Security benefits, and as well as stimulus check news. I'll always
take this opportunity to wish everybody a very happy holiday season and a wonderful new year. And what I wanted to discuss very briefly with you is the fact that I will soon be assuming the chairmanship of the U.S. Senate's Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions Committee, one of the most important committees in the Congress. And as I move into that position, which has very broad jurisdiction over many of the major issues facing our country, let me tell you what's on my mind and what kind of committee I would like to lead. And I also want at this moment to ask for your help, because in the final analysis, as I think most of you know, real change never comes from the top on down, not from Washington to the rest of the country. It always comes from the bottom on up, when millions of people at the grassroots level stand up and fight for what they need. But let me say a few words now about some of the issues that we will be dealing with. And let me start off with our dysfunctional.
Good news, everybody. So if you want the most up-to-date, reliable stimulus check information and the latest news on any sort of stimulus payments, you want to be sure to continue watching this video. There's a ton of information that you might not have known, because every day I spend hours and hours compiling information on the latest stimulus news. And as I can say without a doubt, there's a ton of information, that there is a ton of news to talk about. So let's get straight into it. Millions of Americans will soon receive financial relief in the form of direct payments. That's for a total of $3,000. High inflation does continue to challenge the United States. So, by the end of this month, most Alaska residents should have another $3,000. Exactly, everybody. Update is here. There's a huge news for millions of Americans this month, including the Social Security, SSI, and SSDI beneficiaries, because the lawmakers have finally proposed new legislation. It boosts the monthly benefit checks and may start to go out this month and help many retirees and senior citizens. Eligible people may receive thousands of dollars extra each state per year, everybody. So, nearly 9 out of 10 people ages 65 and older currently receive the Social Security benefits, and the past year has been tough for many of those seniors. And now, as I said, for many of those seniors, everybody, in 2022, the standard Medicare Part B premium climbed 14.5% to $170 per month. That figure accounts to 10.2% of the average monthly benefit paid to retired workers in August, up from 9.6% in August of 2021. It meant that seniors had to give out more of their Social Security checks to cover the cost of medical care this year. And not only that, but the 5.9% COLA, which was enacted last year, failed to cover to the rising cost of Medicare premiums. It also failed to keep up with inflation in general. Retirees have seen their benefits stretched thin by the rapidly rising prices of food, gas, electric, and other necessities. Throughout the year, in fact, the Senior Citizens League estimates the average Social Security benefit has actually fallen short of what it actually provide for. Fortunately, seniors are on pace to see a monster increase in 2023 for the COLA. Social Security beneficiaries are less than 2 weeks away from huge announcement. The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics is scheduled to release its September inflation report on October. At that point, the SSA will have all the data it needs to calculate the COLA for next year. And the Senior Citizens League estimates that the 2023 COLA will clock in at around 8.7%. The Committee for Responsible Federal Budget says that the COLA for next year will probably be closer to 9%, maybe even 8.5%. In either case, that will represent the largest COLA in the last 4 decades. Regardless of where next year's COLA falls, there's nothing you need to do to receive it. If you're already receiving Social Security benefits or SSI, your payments will automatically increase starting in January. Social Security benefits, however, can go a long way in retirement. It is important to stay up to date with the latest changes to the program. Many older Americans say they're cutting back on basics like food and medicine in order to stay afloat, and according to surveys from the Senior Citizens League, the pinch is even more extreme for those who rely on Social Security as their sole source of income. Given that the average retirement benefit, everybody, has actually increased to 5.9% this year for 2022 to around $1,700. It's failing to keep pace with annualized inflation that has topped 8%. And one Social Security and Medicare policy analyst at the Senior Citizen League told reporters, "I've been cautioning everybody about taking about improvements in buying power. Experts have also expressed concerns by the most recent uptick in gas prices, with costs at the